I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. We are in Manhattan, Kansas, where Oklahoma has demolished, destroyed. I'm not sure what you want to say, but they took care of K-State 55-0. Barry, this was the kind of bounce back I think Sooner fans were hopeful for after that Texas game, and it got started so fast.
Yeah, OU dominated from the start. 2 quick touchdowns. Before Kansas State ran a running play, they're down 14-0, and by then the game was over quick, and Sooners were dominant on defense. 6 first downs all day for Kansas State, 105 total yards. OU ran up and down the field, and the tempo early, I thought, really the first touchdown, 5-play touchdown drive, no substitutions. Everybody stayed on the field. They were able to run it quick and kept up that tempo to a large degree all day long.
You know, Lincoln Riley, the offensive coordinator for the Sooners, saying after the game that this week in practice they found something. Refused to tell us what that something was, but clearly tempo, not committing penalties that put them behind the sticks in long yardage situations. That was big, but we also saw some wider splits by the offensive linemen. Clearly they got some things going, and we saw what that momentum did today, and I'm not sure whether to be more impressed with the offensive performance or the defensive performance, because really both sides of the ball, they were just dominant all day.
Well, yeah, they were. I mean, just come to Manhattan and score 55 points and really take your foot off the gas for the last quarter and a half and shut out Kansas State for the first time in 19 years. First time in 24 years on this stadium. So excellent performance, and just when Oklahoma needed it. Because of the disappointing performance against Texas, made you wonder what's going on with this team. And now Oklahoma's sort of back in the saddle, and you think, hey, this team can get some things done this year.
Bill Snyder saying after the game that he doesn't remember a game like this since his first season in Manhattan. As you'll remember, Wildcats were terrible when Bill Snyder takes over, and he even said, I'm not sure we had any games like this. So this was clearly a beatdown by the Sooners. And Barry, you mentioned, where things stood a week ago. You wondered, can this team still be a contender? Does what happened today make you feel better or worse about what you saw last week and where the program is right now?
Well, it makes me feel better about where the program is. It makes me feel worse about last week. Because I came away from OU Texas thinking this was a lot more about Oklahoma than it was about Texas. I don't think that was some sort of Texas uprising. I think the Sooners just laid a stinker. But they got back on track today and played a fabulous game. This is a team, remember. Kansas State took TCU and Oklahoma State to the wire the last 2 weeks. TCU here in a game that the Wildcats led by 18 points at halftime. And it was tied with a minute and a half to go before TCU wins 52-45. So Kansas State's a capable team, and they were totally dominated today. So it's a great sign for the Sooners.
Yeah, definitely a situation where Oklahoma still controls its own destiny and can, it can finish this season with 1 loss. And then, if things roll the right way, they make the selection committee decide what to do with them. By the way, a game we mentioned last week where there was disappointment. The Sooner team had a huge travel delay on Friday to get here. They didn't get to their hotel in Manhattan until after midnight, so they had every reason to be unfocused and said the exact opposite. Let's hear what players and coaches had to say about this game afterwards.
Great week of work. They came out Monday just really fired up, energetic, and it carried through the week. We executed really well, give them the credit. The players, really the execution was maybe as good as we've had. I thought, offensively, run pass, the tempo was better. We did a better job, having a quicker tempo, not allowing the defense to get such a beat on us. And then, and again, the execution, run pass, really solid, took care of the football. Defensively, same thing. Tackling was really good. Our assignment responsibility was really good. And then, coverage, we really, did a great job there, of course, with the whole team. I said that we were going to check in the hotel at 12:15 in the morning from now on, but I don't know how long that'll work.
Did you let him sleep in a little bit this morning to throw you off that way?
I only changed the schedule 15 minutes just because we had to have our walkthrough and step through plays for 30, 40 minutes that we always do before a pregame meal. We had to have chapel, so I didn't feel we could any more than that.
And I think we found something this week, and the guys did a great job of taking it to the field and being ready to play, and got off to a great start and never really looked back.
You got great tempo this week.
I'm not going to talk about it. Because there's no eureka moments. You're never there, and if I go and say it, then there's going to be that sense of it. But like I said, we made some major progress this week, and it was good to see it go from the practice field to the game field.
I'd say it's the tempo. I mean, defenses can't line up and do all their crazy stuff. And when we do that, I think I play better, faster. I'm able to react and go on the run. And I mean, our guys like it when we play fast because the defense doesn't get set up and they get to get good angles on their blocks and get the ball in their hands quickly.
Like I said in the press conference last week, Texas was able to line up and give us some crazy blitzes. And when we go tempo, people can't do that. And the couple sacks we had today, they were on me. They weren't even on the offensive line. I got to get the ball out of my hands, and so we were able to get lined up and get set and get rolling.
Coming out with intensity, and the team with the most intensity is 9 times out of 10 going to get the win. And I think that we had a great intensity coming into the game. I mean, guys were fired up in the locker room. Everybody wanted to show what type of team we were, because of last week's loss. So we did a great job with the intensity and executing our jobs.
We got them behind the chains, and that's hard to do with Kansas State. They run the ball so well. But we were able to do that, and then we were able to put a lot of pressure on their receivers and the quarterback. I thought we came from different angles, throughout the course of the game to really disrupt their flow and timing. That's not the way we tackled a week ago, and that was that was a tough part of that game. And to watch that, I think, was hard for our players to really stomach and to bounce back. Shows you how resilient really they are. And this wasn't an easy venue to come up and play and really take the game to Kansas State from the opening kick. You could see our guys were ready to play.
We had a good week. We've had good weeks of practice all year, so it's not that we had bad weeks of practice, but just it was a different feeling in the locker room, and guys were ready to get back on the field. Especially after a loss, you're always itching to get back and show that that's not the team that you are.
Well, we came out today and played, great football. Like I said, we started fast, and we rolled, So, I mean, I can't, control how people feel, but. That's just the way today went. And, we focused on starting fast all week, and that's what we did, and it just seemed to roll. And I mean, I don't know the people who gave up on us. I don't know, or people who said this. People always got stuff to say. You got people, that's with you. You got people against you.
Sooners return to action next week, Barry, at home against Texas Tech. It's the Baker Mayfield Lincoln Riley Bowl down in Norman. A lot of subplots and subtext, but what does Oklahoma need to do to continue this role that they got on right here in Manhattan?
Well, I mean, playing like this is going to solve a lot of problems. I assume this is an historic performance, so it's going to be hard to maintain this. But Texas Tech is a team that what they're going to do. They're going to run that air raid, and Oklahoma's had a little trouble with Tulsa, so they got to fortify that defensive secondary. But a lot of good things happened today and in the secondary as well. Will Johnson was put into the lineup at nickelback, played very well. So, Texas Tech was in the state just down I-70 and had trouble with Kansas. Yeah. So bad sign for the Red Raiders. So, it's looking good for Oklahoma to get into November riding high at 8-1.
We saw what Oklahoma did responding to a bad game. If they can ride this momentum wave, should bode well moving forward. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.